Welcome back to Papa's These Bees. Today we're going to discuss a little bit about winter feeding of bees. If the temperature is warm, you can feed syrup. If it's not, then you need, if it's cooler below, if it's going to be freezing at night, then you possibly should feed some solid feed, like either a sugar block, or what I use is Hive Alive fondant, which works great. So we're going to show a couple of things that we do. We'll show a couple of types of syrup feeding. One would be in-hive syrup feeders. I use rapid round feeders. Other people can use something that just fits inside in place of a frame full of syrup. Just depends on what you want to do, but I'll show you what I do. And then also, just kind of a fun thing, on a warm day, you can do some open syrup feeding. You want to do it away from your hive so you don't cause them to want to go ahead and do any robbing. But it's fun to be able to do that with with just take what we'll do is we'll take a Ziploc gallon bag, put some liquid syrup in it, and then poke some holes in it and let the bees come in and take it. And surprisingly enough, they do. So we'll take a look at those things as we go, and we'll start with the in-hive syrup feeders. Here we go. Put in here a few days ago, and you can see the bees are up here getting it after cutting those little bottom things off of the riser supports that covered this up. This allowed this to the bees to get up in here and lick the syrup off of the syrup off of the sock that's up here. And notice there's not hardly any dead bees up here, which is good. So the way you fill these up, and what makes the top feeder better, is because you can, well, if I can get over here, you don't actually get in the hive. And so you don't disturb the bees. So you put as much in there as you need to, and then you cover it right back up. You can see they're really going after this. So, it's supposed to get cooler. And as we get consistently cold weather, we'll replace the liquid feed with Hive Alive fondant. Next, we'll look at a fun little thing called open hive syrup feeding. It's not something that you want to do very often, and it's certainly not something you want to do close to your hives, so you don't want to encourage robbing. But you can kind of see here, it's a Ziploc gallon bag with light syrup in it, less than 1 to 1. And poke using I've got a safety pin there. You can see where I'm poking holes in it, and then the bees come up and land on that and suck the syrup out. After several days of this, they actually emptied this bag almost completely. So it's just kind of fun to watch, but it just shows that they're out there trying to find something, foraging, and they found this, and they seem to like it pretty well. Later on in this whole bag was just covered with bees. So just an option, just a fun thing. The fondant that we use is Hive Alive fondant. It's got sugar content, good for the carbohydrates that the bees need, but it's also important because it has several things inside of it that will help the bees make it through the winter, help their bee gut. So this is a new little attachment that Hive Alive has for this year. It's a way to open the hive easier with a round square, and then also plug it. So here's different variations of it. So you take the round circle with the serrated edge, and you turn it until you make the hole, then you tear off the plastic. So we've done that with that one. Now this one, then you take the pointed end of this and push it down into the hole, like that. So that's what we have here. So what that does, we'll turn that over and put it on top of the hive like this, and as the bees eat it, these little fingers will push the top, which is this side, up,
so the bees can get in and out easier. So it's a pretty neat little tool. You can get the fondant and these little attachments both at Hive Alive. I'll put the link into it in the video. Now we'll take a minute and we'll go out on the hives. So we're out at the horizontal hive, so we'll start with that one. I'm going to give them a little bit of smoke here, so it kind of masks the scent. Okay, so got the lid up, got lots of bees there. So again, what I'm going to do is I'm going to smoke them, so maybe they'll go down inside a little bit. And we'll just turn this hole right over the top of that hole. And then as the bees consume it, the weight will go down and they'll be fine. Got to get this thing closed. Okay, so that again, that's how we do the horizontal. And so now we'll move over to one of our flow hives. So we'll take a break. Now, so we'll repeat the process on the flow hive. We'll give them a little bit of smoke to kind of desensitize the guard bees. And then we'll take the insulated cover off. And here we were using, over on the horizontal hive, you saw we were using the bee buffet, which is kind of a neat tool. And I'll put any information I can find on it in there. They've kind of quit making them, but it's kind of nice. So in here, if you can see, we have a rapid round feeder, and while the process is a little different, it's pretty much the same. First thing we'll do is, I'm gonna get the smoker up here, because I don't want any more of them to come out than have to. But more than likely they're gonna be on the bottom of it, just like they were over there. So we'll take this off. They didn't take much of the liquid, which is kind of surprising. The liquid is, the reason we're stopping the liquid and going to the fondant is once you start getting cold weather, like we're getting ready to have, you don't want to use liquid feed because they really can't use it because it's too cold. Even though we've got the bubble wrap inside here and then we've got a insulated inner cover, it still will get cooler in here, and cool enough that the liquid will not help them. It'll in fact indeed hurt them. So if you can see on here now, we've got the Hive Alive fondant. You can see the 6 little feet of the little red gadget, and it fit just right perfectly down inside that cover. So that's perfect. So now we'll put the fondant, or the more bubble wrap on top. Use bubble wrap, you get different layers of it, and the more of it that you get in there, the better. Now I'll come back down and strap this down later, because it's about the time that we need to strap it. So that's how we do the flow hives. Got one more flow hive to do, and then we'll be done. That's about it.
Well, I hope you enjoyed this little quick look at how we feed our bees in the winter, both in the warm early part of the winter down into the cold winter. So just a little fun thing. Hope you enjoyed it. Appreciate it. Y'all come back.